You know what the funniest thing is? It's like when like skinny people like they post pictures, like the comments will be like, "Wow, you look amazing." But like when a person like maybe previously fat, like they'll post
I love
something.
the confidence.
Yeah, it's like you're so brave for posting this.
Have you actually seen that before? You're so brave for posting this. Wait, that's like a backhanded compliment. What the fuck is that? That was so satisfying.
Welcome back to Profound Profanity. I'm Joe.
I'm Charles.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Sharon.
We have many important things to talk about. Sharon, please share with us the quote of the week.
Obvious to you, amazing to others.
Who's this by?
I don't even remember. Eric Sivers or something?
Okay. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
It's about imposter syndrome. Because sometimes you get so good at something that you get like kind of in your head and you're like, ooh, there's still other people that are better than me at this. Then you also have to recognize the fact that like if you say you're good at like statistics or something, you put someone from advertisement into doing what you're doing, they're not gonna be able to do it. So you gotta recognize like the growth that you've taken and what has gotten you there.
So the quote is obvious to you,
amazing to others.
Amazing to others. Is that what that means? Doesn't that quote mean if it's obvious to you, like some people, yeah, you kind of like it's not like a good thing. Like you're kind of condescending because it's obvious to you. It's like you just expect other people to get it, but then they don't.
Well, that's not what it is. I mean, okay, if you want to take it like that.
I mean, because that's the way I heard it. I mean, maybe it's just the nature of my personality. That's the way I heard it. I was like, if it's obvious to me, you should always consider the fact that there's other people that don't do things as well as you.
I mean, I guess you can also look at it like that.
Yeah.
But that's also
you gotta
recognize.
I'm a very impatient person, so I think that's how I think a lot of times. What about you?
Well, I think that's a good quote. It's like it's obvious to you because you have the knowledge, because you have the experience, whereas to other people they don't. It's not obvious to them. It's amazing to them because they've never seen it be done in such a way before, or something like that. It's not. They're not used to it, so it's amazing to them because they've never seen it. But to you, it's daily bread and butter, basically.
So how do you think? Do you think in a more
it's fascinating to see how he thinks.
Yeah.
No,
where your mind goes very
really like. So how did you guys perceive it?
That's exactly how we all like us three
Imposter
are like
syndrome.
on pretty.
Oh really? Like imposter syndrome is like.
It's pretty much.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's like I should be more patient and calm about things that I get, and I think that I have more experience in it instead of just being
assume everyone knows
negative about and like when people don't get it, just be get more upset and things like that. Okay, so
wait, what? What did he just say?
What do you mean?
He gets upset when you're dumb.
Can you repeat what your paraphrasing of Sharon's quote again, please?
No, it wasn't a paraphrasing. I'm saying that's my takeaway from the quote. Like, don't get too upset when people don't get things quick. That's my takeaway.
Sure.
I mean, isn't that what that quote means?
If
is it
you
not?
want to read it like that, yeah.
I mean, because that's like exactly how I heard it. I was like, oh, yeah, like for people that get things really quick, they're going to they're going to have a hard time being more patient with people that don't get things fast.
No, I'm glad you two got it.
No, yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I do understand what you're saying though, but because I took it out of a video about imposter syndrome.
Oh, you see, yeah, like, I don't have that. I don't have
so,
that.
Yeah,
we didn't either.
No, yeah, that's why I'm saying that because they both got it. It's interesting that you heard it like that.
Yeah, it's just it means I'm just a better person than you guys. That's what it means at the end.
No,
of the day.
it means you have to fix yourself.
No, yeah, it just means
you take it how you want. This is why the way you are.
I'm on like that Steve Jobs mentality.
You take quotes in a very wrong.
No, that's the correct way.
Sure.
What?
Anyways, let's talk about double standards of body shaming.
Yeah. So
why it's okay for women to be fat these days and men have to, accept that as a very positive thing.
Women are plus size and men
You don't have to move
fat.
the mic. Yeah, sorry.
That's the stand.
You have to keep on.
That's a stance. Women are plus size and men are fat.
That's just societal.
Yeah,
stuff.
100%.
Yeah, it's body positivity when you support, a girl that's overweight. But when you support a dude who's fat and overweight,
but where do you see that?
Overweight.
Guys aren't like that with each
You
other.
don't support a fat dude in general.
No, exactly. That's where the disconnect is. You just said when you do support guys.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen.
But why?
Why do you think it doesn't happen?
Well,
because people know that men can take things and women can't. If I were told that, oh dude, you're fat, you're getting fat, you got to lose some weight, I would take that as, oh, this is my time to really take that in as a piece of advice for the betterment of myself, and we don't get personally offended by that kind of stuff.
But the encouragement to be plus size means like they're not fixing that.
Yeah, no, they're normalizing bad health. For guys, if you're fat, we see it as, oh, you're unhealthy, you're not fit. But for girls, it could be like, oh, like body positivity, It's never like when another dude sees a fat dude, like let's say like I have a fat friend, right? We're not like, oh, like you go, dude, like you're so like your body is amazing, like like be more confident in yourself. Like if the dude is fat, he's fat, and he needs to change that. He's unhealthy, and there's no like pretty way to say it.
No, I agree. And you know what? The whole thing with that is people don't go out of their way to make fun of people that are just a little bit like, on the heavier side or whatever. I'm talking about like you can obviously tell that they have some kind of health issues right now, or you could see a one hamburger away from diabetes, like that kind of stuff. So when it's that kind of, thing, if you're my friend, I'll call you out 100%, especially if you're a guy. I'll say, yo, you gotta really calm down with that. And they also take it in a very positive way. They're like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm not.
I think it's because girls are just
sensitive.
They're sensitive, and
weak.
Because
okay,
I wouldn't say weak. They're just sensitive, in which like I don't know.
Do you think guys' weight fluctuate more or girls? Do you think there's a difference?
I think guys fluctuate more.
Yeah,
because then. You know how girls after they're pregnant, a lot of women will gain weight. So then,
no, I'm not talking about women after pregnancy.
No, yeah,
I'm talking about just single women, just especially young people. For you to be morbidly overweight, there is something that needs to change in your life.
No, yeah, I think back to what I was saying.
Especially in your 20s.
Yeah, back to what I was saying. I think it's because girls are more sensitive, and this doesn't really just go for like the subject of like being like fat or not. It's just if. Especially your friend points out something to you that you're already insecure about, then they're more sensitive to those things, and they become very hurt by, even if you say it in the nicest way possible to your friend, they're still going to take it the wrong way.
No, of course. And that's the problem. People can't face reality.
I agree.
That's literally the issue. You cannot face the reality of what things are, because you know why? I feel like a lot of people, they're not willing to risk the effort that it takes for them to get to that better place in their life. They're afraid of putting in that work.
You know what I also think it is? It's also the difference in how like guys get close to each other and how girls get close to each other. Because I heard from one person say this, that guys, they get closer with each other the more they insult each other, right? Girls, they get closer to each other the more false compliments they give each other. That's very profound, my friend.
There is some level of truth to that,
right? Like there is so like guys, right? Like the more you insult, like the more I call you like fat, like I call my friends like how do we get along, right? Like
it just means like you guys are that much more comfortable with each other.
Absolutely.
We call each other fat. We call each other like virgins, incels, and stuff like that, right? Like that's how we that's how we get close with each other, right?
Hold on. I never called you these types of things. I never called you. Who called you this?
No.
Please let me know who called you this type of stuff.
I remember like I used to banter with some kids, some dudes, and we'd be like, "Oh, you're fucking loser" and stuff like that. Like, but like you would never say that to someone you're not close to unless you're actually trying to fight them. You're able to say this because you're close with each other. But
no, absolutely.
I've noticed that like girls, like the more closer they are, they don't want to hurt each other, so they give each other like false compliments and stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of girls definitely do that.
So I feel like that.
I also wouldn't necessarily say it's fake, but they do.
It's not genuine.
I wouldn't say okay. It has yes. A lot of some girls don't do it genuinely. It's kind of just because like I think it's a lot of girls. They're afraid of rejection and like they have like this thing where they're very afraid of not being liked, or they're just afraid of that kind of conflict, especially with a friend. So they tend to just say nicer or things in a nicer way.
I believe it. I believe that to be the case because, like I said, I have some friends that are girls and, when I speak to them, I think I tone down my jokes a lot with them just because I know the way that they take certain things, it'll be, they'll take it more personally than if I were to tell that to a guy. So, I think that for sure, I'm way more careful about the way that I approach girls about their bodies, even though the fact of the matter is, I'm like maybe shedding light on them that they may have not known. But you know what I realized? A lot of people do know that
they're like that.
Yeah, but the craziest part to me is how like they put themselves out there in a way that they say it's like okay to be unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying if you're just a little on the chubby side or whatever. I'm saying like there's some girls out there that you be like 5'2" and 180 pounds.
Justifying.
That's what I'm saying.
Rationalizing their.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
That's
like
gonna fix it.
Deep down on the inside, I'm pretty sure these girls, right? They feel like shit about themselves, right?
Oh, no, yeah.
So like they're trying to like push this false persona and false like confidence that like, oh, like even though I'm 5'2" and 180 pounds, like objectively I'm not a 10, but I'm gonna call myself a 10 and like try to go off that confidence. I feel like,
and also because of social media these days and the whole body positivity movement, it's so much easier for them to rationalize that idea of themselves in their head.
I know, but my question is, why is it the case that men aren't celebrated for their fatness?
That's honestly true, though.
Men are not celebrated for their fatness. Like, if a man is fat, they're hidden away in the most depths of the YouTube algorithm content.
I also think girls are more toxic to each other, which is why it's being more brought out into the light. And also because of fashion and the beauty industry, and it's heavily women.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel like that's why body positivity is very catered towards women more than men. Because also social media, like it's just you see all these fashion brands, always girls coming up more than a lot of guys. Because there's so many more women, or brands that are catered to women than men in the first place. So I think social media is a very big part of why, women's bodies and the way that they look is celebrated more than men.
No, yeah, for me, I love to celebrate women that are curvy, but I cannot, it's not much to celebrate about when you literally look like a blueberry. That's the difference. That's the difference. Like how, no, look.
No, I think the difference is whether you can do something about your body or not.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all it comes down to. And also just health, just maintaining your health. But other than that, I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, it's not an issue unless it's like a health issue.
Yeah, but a lot of times I see, a lot of times what I see it as being is it's a train. They're in a train wreck in slow motion right now. They're literally one bite away from, becoming a blueberry, literally.
Maybe that's why they push into it so hard, because that's what they want to believe.
Or maybe they think they're like
the delusion.
Yes, because
the delusion.
No, but I feel like people who are like that, they're probably so in their head about how they look and stuff. So when they see someone being body positive like that, they want to give into that idea and push.
No,
that
you know what?
thought out.
It is a very,
and maybe they think they're too far gone.
No, yeah,
like,
exactly.
They've already
Exactly.
tried
they
multiple times, but they've given up too early, and so now they're just.
But for me to subscribe to that thought where you're now going about the body positivity, now that's a lazy route for me. That's a lazy route because you've given up. Because it's obviously harder to go back, in terms of go back to, a little slimmer, back to a little skinnier. Yeah. So when you subscribe to the body positivity, then it's like, oh, I could be celebrated for all of the extra pounds I have on my body. Then at that point for me, that's like, okay, that's just laziness then.
Okay, so here's my question. Just putting it out there. You used to be fat.
Yeah.
So where was that switch in your mentality to push yourself to not be fat anymore? Okay, just letting everyone know, he was pretty damn close to like obesity.
No,
he was actually overweight.
Doctor told me I was obese.
I'm not just being like, oh, Joseph was a fat fucker. Like,
no.
Like,
it was true. It is true.
No, he was actually like diagnosed.
No, yeah. Doctor was like, you like to eat rice, huh? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then doctor was like, stick to brown rice, my friend.
But yeah, so you went on a very, very heavy diet since you were in like high school.
Yes.
So where was that switch in your mentality?
I just realized always that, nobody is going to help me change myself. Nobody's going to continuously every day push me to get slimmer. If I have an issue with the way I looked, because before I shower, I look at myself and I'm like, damn, this is not it. This is not me, because everybody has the best version of themselves in their heads, right?
Right.
Like when you envision yourself, this is the type of person I want to be. This is the way I want to look. The best version of yourself is in your head. I realize that only in terms of, at least physically, I'm the only one that could put in that work to make that come true. It's just, I've always been on like trying to become my best version of myself that I can since high school. So, at that time, maybe it was just because I was coming into high school a little bit more, rational thinking in my mind as well. So I was like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do to, become a normal person again. Because that's not a normal person. I'm first one to call myself, a pig, but that's just not for me. At least I didn't want to live like that. Yeah. I wanted to be proud of what I saw, especially in the mirror. Because you know what it is, though? I think the easiest way to gain confidence is with your looks.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way. And it's not even like it's not even like a bad way to gain confidence, just because to know that when you're present and you're proud of yourself, you're confident in yourself, that really changes up everything. Because, sometimes working hard doesn't necessarily get you more money. Working hard, you may not be able to necessarily get a lot of other stuff. But if you work hard on your body, you will see the results. 100%.
Yeah, because it's the one thing that you have full control over.
Exactly. And you know what? I realized for myself, if I don't have control over my own body, then I'm for sure not going to have control over, my finances or whatever. So I realized that it all starts from, making sure that I'm disciplined in that very basic area of my life. Because if you cannot control what goes into your mouth, you're not going to be set out for a lot of great success out there, for sure. Because that's the
I
most
get the
basic,
principles of working out is very good, honestly, physically and mentally, because of, you learn discipline. Working out every day, it's not an easy thing. And I mean, obviously, and it puts you into a routine, and also health benefits, obviously. And overall confidence, I think, like you said, I think it is the easiest way to get confidence. It's not even like a mental thing. It's honestly like, if you look good, you feel good.
No, absolutely. And, wherever you go, I think the first impression you make on somebody is with your looks, with your demeanor, with your actions. And that's right when somebody sees you, they're already going to know, oh, it may not be up to this degree, but they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's kind of lazy, he's not on his game, or oh damn, like this guy, he's working out, whatever.
Yeah, and I think you gain confidence by how you look, but also from how much work you put and effort you put into looking that way.
Absolutely.
So the results give you a type. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you about kind of the opposite effect that it may have, which is a lot of people nowadays have body dysmorphia. So you can look so good in the eyes of other people.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of have body dysmorphia. Yeah, because sometimes you'll go on like super crazy diets.
Yeah.
And literally we all, like our family tells you really don't need to do it. Because sometimes you're literally like super skinny, as in like you don't really have that much fat on your body, but then you'll go on these diets. And I feel like it's because of like stress and other things.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Body dysmorphia?
That aspect.
Maybe I do have body dysmorphia, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Well,
okay.
Well, it's because this is why I don't think it's a bad thing. It's because I like the idea of never being content. So I always like to have more and more. But I mean, obviously it's diminishing returns on that. At a certain point, when you go on crazy diets like that, I realize like my body at really lower body fat percentages, it doesn't operate like normally. My energy levels are low. I don't feel very good. I feel a little bit more.
So why do you do it?
No, because I thought that it's going to help me look better, and it did. It did, but there is a cost for looking like that, definitely.
You know what it is also? It's because as a child, you heard the words, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat so much that kind of traumatized you. And now you have this kind of like PTSD where like, even if you do see yourself in the mirror, like let's say you wake up and you see like a slight bit of fat on you, you go apeshit because you're reminded of those times when you used to be made fun of and shit like that for, having that extra flub. So even when you see a little bit, you go crazy. You can't accept it because you worked your butt off to where you are physically, right? So I think that's what it is. Like because of your upbringing, right? Because of what you experienced as a little kid, you can't accept. You don't want to accept it at all when you see yourself fat. Like that's why even if you're skinny, like if you perceive yourself as a little bit fat, oh, like maybe I'm getting a little fat, right? Like you're reminded of those times. So that's why you go on those crazy diets.
I think logically, like in your mind, you know that it's not an issue. But then like emotionally, that's like what conquers your logical thinking, and then it kind of
maybe maybe that's the case. I've never really thought about it as trauma of me being called fat or whatever, but maybe that's the case subconsciously. But usually, I think it's because of the people that I compare myself to or see as having a good body, and then I see that when they look a certain way, I'm like, okay, if I just work a little bit harder, I could probably get a little bit closer to them. Because I usually always think about like someone like the fitness people that are posting the pictures.
Does that motivate you, or are you
it's
like,
motivation.
or is it like bothering you? So
No.
Like,
it's no bother.
Control in my
it's
life
no bother because I'm not jealous of them. I'm not jealous that because they obviously they worked hard. They're working hard to consistently maintain that. So that's just only motivation. It's like, okay, those are the types of things.
So you think your practices so far are
healthy?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I realize it becomes unhealthy when I start to either push it on other people or I start to really see negative effects in my body, for example, like low energy and things like that. But I'm saying for a majority of people out there, the body dysmorphia is in the opposite way, and that's the wrong way. I think that's the worst way.
It's both.
I mean, I'm just saying I'd rather be skinnier and be a little bit healthier than super big and think that that's okay too. Just because at least I feel like more of the skinnier way, you at least have some more confidence.
Do you though?
Yeah, for sure.
So do you
there's a lot
think
of
that-
there's a lot of vanity.
Do you
As
think
a
that
guy, I
plus
think-
size people?
Okay, don't say
Or,
plus
like-
size because the models are
Okay,
different.
Sure. Do you think that then like that's fake confidence if they're like very
Yeah.
confident about their body?
But I think there's a reason why it's like that for guys. It's because when guys are skinnier, right? Like if you don't have fat on you, your abs are going to be more defined. You're like, no matter if you're, if you have like small amounts of muscle or not, you can see a little bit of definition, right? But when a guy is fat, you don't see any lines at all. There's no benefit to a guy being fat. Whereas if a girl gets fat, right? If their fat
Little bit
is
curvy.
distributed in the right and, acceptable manner, then, they'll get bigger boobs, they'll get bigger butt, stuff like that, right? So like
Absolutely.
that's why like
That
it's
G-Wagon
more,
upper truck.
I feel like it's more, that's how it goes like both ways. Like for guys, they want to be skinnier, right? But for girls, like it's okay for like they find it okay for like guys to be like super skinny, but like
Yeah, I never
More
heard
than-
the term
more than,
thick
like-
guy before.
Yeah,
I heard
there's
thick
no
girl,
such
but I
thing as
never heard
thick
of thick
guy.
guy.
Baseball players.
Thighs.
Come on.
Baseball
Come on, man.
players.
That's true.
But I mean, yeah, I do think that for girls, a lot of times when they're fat, it's borrowed confidence. It's borrowed confidence of social media. But when you're on the skinnier side, for example, like people that are skinnier, it's not borrowed confidence. That confidence just comes from innate within you, but you may never feel like you're enough.
That's exactly
Let's just
why they
say
don't
the
have
social media
confidence.
never happened, like the body happiness body what was it? body positivity.
happiness.
Yeah, body positivity movement. Let's say they never saw that before, they're not going to be confident, right? So that's borrowed confidence. That's not innate confidence. I mean, don't you see that though? Like they're literally taking the social media and they're like, okay, that's me too. I'm gonna start posting pictures. And you know what the funniest thing is? It's like when like skinny people like they post pictures, like the comments will be like, wow, you look amazing. But like when a person like maybe previously fat, like they'll post
I love
something.
the confidence.
Yeah, it's like you're so
Yeah.
brave for posting this.
Have you actually seen that before? You're so brave for posting this.
Dude.
But that's like a backhanded compliment. What the
Bro.
fuck is that?
Bro, it be happening sometimes. It be happening sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've never seen that, but
bro, people are ruthless on the internet.
yeah.
They're so brave for but like the thing is they were actually trying to be nice too. That's the worst part.
And they're just
Yeah.
oblivious to the fact that they just.
Yeah.
Said that.
Mm.
I mean, but yeah, I do think that overall that
I think the body positivity part is okay, but it's only a problem because people think it's okay to stay like that. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
this is you now, but you can still get better and get skinnier,
absolutely,
whatever.
absolutely. That's why I never go out of my way to think that somebody is just going to say. I don't assume that, but I mean, when I see certain individuals on the internet talking crazy, talking that that Lizzo talk, I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so where do you think the line is between plus size and fat? Like, how do you determine that
Look,
spectrum?
if the doctor says there's a problem, you should take that into consideration.
I think there's also an issue when it's like celebrities and stuff promoting this. So their brand becomes that.
No,
And
yeah.
so then when they get skinny, they lose that brand. And so they stay that way. They stay that weight.
A lot of celebrities that used to be bigger, they all got skinnier,
Yeah.
like Jonah Hill.
Adele.
Yeah, all of
Fat
them.
Amy.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh yeah, Fat Amy went
See,
crazy.
Even this. Do you see this? You don't. What's her real name?
I don't know. I don't even know
What?
who Fat Amy is.
Her brand.
Who's Fat Amy?
She
Pitch
came out as
Perfect.
perfect.
Girl. The blonde.
What's Pitch Perfect?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Really?
What is this?
It's like a
That's
singing.
amazing.
Well, it's a big woman that became better, right?
Yeah, she lost weight.
No. You see,
Branding
everybody.
is that. though,
Rebel
which is
Wilson.
oh, yeah. Rebel Wilson.
See, you guys don't even know her real name.
I forgot.
Well, I don't even know who this is.
You don't?
No. Well, I'm just saying it is objectively, more attractive for when somebody is a little slimmer, a little fitter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody's first choice is to, go for somebody that looks like Jabba the Hutt. You know what I'm saying?
People like the extra stuff to grab on.
No, some people like the extra stuff to grab on, but it better have some shape to it. It can't be just like a pillow pet looking,
Preference.
So yeah, there's a specific proportion that even guys that like those kinds of like thicker girls, they know what kind of proportion they're looking for, and they're not looking for that like blueberry looking proportion. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. People will still wear shapewear when they go out and stuff.
You see, to give them
Even
shape.
Even though
They don't want that blueberry shape. You know what I'm saying?
Confidence.
Borrow confidence of the damn shape up. This is why women wear like the high-rise stuff.
Oh yeah,
That
no,
borrowed
I know what
confidence
you
right
mean.
there.
I know what you mean. Like,
I will be the first to admit that is me.
Yeah, but it's the borrowed confidence. It's the borrowed confidence.
I wouldn't say it's
They
borrowed
get the damn compression all over their stomach. You know what I'm saying?
but you can
guys
tell,
don't
like,
have that.
you can tell,
Yeah,
like, when
guys
they're-
don't have the
high-rise
fupa.
pants.
Bro, look.
Girls bloat more than guys.
It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what the case is. I don't care about your justification. I don't mind girls wearing high-rise stuff. But there's, there is.
There's a lot of different reasons why girls wear it.
No,
but
yeah,
that is
sure.
one that I would say.
My point is, most people tend to use extra, supporting units to make themselves have that better shape.
Where?
You know what I'm
Extra
saying?
supporting unit.
Yeah.
corset.
Yeah, absolutely. These types of things to, make them.
The hourglass
Curvier.
shape.
Yeah, exactly. Without any effort. It's the
The effort is
It's
putting
the-
it on.
And the pain.
And
it's
holding it
painful.
in, sucking it in.
Oh yeah,
Right.
if you eat a lot with
It's
that
fucking
shit on.
painful.
I mean, I don't even wear shapewear, but I assume that it's gonna be compressing your stomach a lot.
No, I know for a fact it's painful because my dad, after he eats a
Your
lot,
dad
he
has
takes
worn
his
it?
belt off.
His belt.
So there's no way.
Guys, see
Right?
that?
You're like, no.
Hey, Carl, I'll do this for me.
No. Because my dad, he has a bad back, right? So he wears this like
Oh, like a back
support-
brace.
back brace, right?
Oh,
And then like
yeah,
when he
yeah,
eats too much, he's like, "Oh, I need to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yap right now." Or like even his normal belt too. Like after
I'm
he
so
eats a lot.
glad that didn't end with my dad wears
shapewear, exposing his dad out on the pod.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyways, yeah, this is why most people, when it's time to show out, they come ready with some borrowed confidence. But I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But
Yeah.
let's not hide away from the truth of the matter is, that shape, it really does add a certain level of attractiveness. It adds on to it. But
Objectively.
just the difference with guys is that a lot of times, what, I'll admit this, some guys, they like to use the borrowed confidence of the insoles in the shoes, the extra insoles, add the height.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on both ends of the spectrum, I feel like
Okay, but
there
I
is a
will
little bit of borrowed
say,
confidence.
I don't know.
I don't
Height
actually
is
know anyone
not
that-
something you can control.
Yeah. Something you can't fix, and yet people are
So
so
yeah, that is
fixated
a
on it,
different
though.
type of borrowed confidence.
But I mean, but regardless, like for example, height is a very objectively attractive feature on a guy, and a nice hourglass body is a very attractive feature on a girl, and that's why people do it. But my point is, let's not hide away from the truth. Don't ever come at me and say, I love this shape, I love that shape. Don't be wearing shapewear then. Why are you shaping it into a different shape, pushing it together and shit? Huh? Don't wear that shit then, huh? How about that? You better come at me with this same type of energy. If I ever see you out, you better have everything, showing the way that it is. That blueberry shape better be spherical when I see you.
Spherical.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, all I'm saying is there's certain actions that contradict the words. Let's not just keep on promoting this positivity, but then, suffocate from putting that kind of stuff on, the corsets and whatnot. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. Y'all gotten beat before by your parents?
Most definitely.
What's the
weapon of choice?
Oh, mine was, for me, it was different weapons time to time, but it was usually either
The back scratcher.
Yeah, the back scratcher.
A spatula.
Chopstick.
Oh, yeah. What the? That's not a beating.
My parents,
That's
I
what
will
I
say.
said. I was like, it's so short that it doesn't even hurt. Like, there's no like.
you can't generate that much velocity with that.
I'll say my parents were on the nicer side of beating than the rest of their family members. No, their family members too.
Oh, their family members.
Yeah.
Charles, what about you?
So I used to get beat a lot. So my
What's
parents,
the weapon?
It just varies all the time. It's
Okay.
whatever's closest to my mom or my dad at the time.
Broomstick.
So it could be a wide variety of things. But after a certain amount of time, like after I was a certain age, my parents didn't even beat me anymore. They gave me even worse kinds of punishment. Like the psychologically, like
Like
they-
psychological torture.
like legit, like get in push-up position.
Oh.
Like,
Like, seriously?
like it's GG.
Anyways,
But yeah, anyway.
well, what do you guys think about corporate punishment? Do you guys think that it made you into a better person? Do you think that there's some issues with the way that you are because of that? Will you do it, moving forward with your own family? What do
Your
you
own
think
kids. I feel like if the kid is bratty, sometimes
A beating is necessary?
almost.
about? Oh,
But
She
the
said they deserve it.
level that it is, I think, is the problem.
well, what's
Like,
the level for you?
I've heard guitars being used on a bag.
Oh yeah, that's
Guitar is nothing.
yeah,
I've
this is
heard
not a-
about
this
golf
is-
clubs being
yeah.
used.
Is that
one's
worse than a
no,
guitar?
Dude,
Golf
golf club's
clubs
kind of
is-
crazy.
That's crazy. That's
I can't imagine being beat with that.
that's-
Yeah, I can't imagine
Sexual
being beat with
abuse? That's what I'm saying.
No, but what do you think is
As a child, too.
what do you think is a level of whatever bad behavior that requires a beating?
When kids are bratty, they're not listening
What
to
is-
anything, whining, crying.
So do you have do you think you'll have like a strikeout like counter, like 3 strikes and you're out, or is it the first
Definitely
time, first
not.
offense?
No. I feel like now I would probably keep seeing if she fixes a problem, because kids
So
as you age,
where do you do the spanking? Where do you do the beating?
Yeah, how many times do they have to do that type of
the
behavior?
brattiness.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like, what is the gradual lead up to that?
When I get triggered and blow up.
I see.
Also, it could be at
so
any time,
you-
any place.
No,
So you wanna
no,
know-
no.
If you're having a
Ideally,
bad day and they say,
no,
"Mom, I want ice cream," and
No,
they,
no.
throw a tantrum,
That's so different.
you
The
just depends on how I'm feeling.
ideal. Yeah, about what they're doing. The ideal is me not wanting to do that at all. Because I will say, I think my parents did it with me and my older sister, but the rest of them, they didn't do that, and it was fine. So
What do you think?
I think so. For me, I think that beating is necessary to a certain extent to instill somewhat of a respect for the parent within the child, so that they know that there's repercussions and they shouldn't offend the parent. So but ideally, it obviously it hurts the parent to beat the child, right? So I wouldn't want to beat them, but I want to instill in them some sort of discipline and respect for me, so that they're afraid of disrespecting me and they're afraid of disappointing me, if that makes sense. So
you would do it.
at the early ages. It would probably be more apparent. I don't want to beat them. It would probably be more verbal and more raise.
yeah,
keep your
yeah,
hands
yeah.
raised,
Go
hold the dictionary up.
Go
That's
look at
what
the
it-
wall.
like,
What age are they going to be?
are you gonna drop it? I don't want to be I don't know, more
Yeah.
than a high schooler that. That's just
Don't beat them after high school.
honestly
Mm.
especially during puberty too. I don't
Yeah.
know that's
different.
That's
What do you think about beating?
I think I don't like the word beating.
Beating? Yeah.
The
I
A little
probably
slap on the
corporal
hand.
punishment.
like
Corporal
a
punishment.
slap on the head. What am I doing? High fiving them?
This is not
On the forearm.
Oh, man, what the? First of all, I don't even think you got what is really considered corporal punishment.
No, yeah.
That's why.
So
But
I think there's this Korean TV show where these kids, it's very problematic toddlers that come out,
mhm.
and the parents are just they're just way too neutral about everything. They just let their kids do whatever they want.
Mhm.
And they just become more and more problematic as time goes by. So just watching those types of things, there are very, very problematic children sometimes. And sometimes it is an actual mental issue that they have, whether it be ADHD or anger issues as a child too. So I think spanking, I'll say spanking or like corporate punishment is necessary, but I would try not to do it just because I think also we all think that it's okay because we grew up in an Asian household.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, most definitely.
And also because we have parents that are first gen parents. So like moving on from our generation, a lot more people are going to think that it's not okay to do.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I think people are
already
getting softer.
going there.
People are getting softer because of that.
Is it softer?
Yeah, I generally think people are getting softer because they're not getting beat. You know what? I personally don't regret getting beat. I definitely think there's times that I shouldn't have gotten beat, but I don't regret that I got beat because I think that it taught me a lot of important things. Because like Charles said, I think a lot of people that I've seen that haven't gotten beat, the one commonality that I see in a lot of them is they don't, no, not entitlement. They don't have respect for authority. They don't have like, so it doesn't matter who the authority figure is. They don't have a respect. You know these types of people. A lot of times they happen to be like the artsy ones.
What?
like the graffiti type. Like graffiti motherfuckers, you know? But anyways, like these types of people, when you don't have respect for authority, I'm not saying that you have to be, always be a yes man and, always agree to what everybody's saying. But, there's a certain level of respecting authority that is in place where I think you only learn when you get beat or get the corporal punishment. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think I will do corporal punishment within my own family. But here's the thing. I always want my kid to know that I'm in control of my emotions. I don't ever want them to think that I'm beating them out of anger.
Yeah.
I want them to know that I'm in control and that
it's because they did something wrong.
They shouldn't be scared of me per se. They should be like scared, they shouldn't be scared that they're going to they shouldn't be scared that I'm going to go crazy on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
to a different extent
of them.
Absolutely. I want them to know the consequences of that. I want them to feel that I'm disappointed in them, but never to feel like they're scared for their lives in terms of I'm not in control of my emotions and I'm going to go insane on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely will be enforcing those types of things. But I always want them to know that every time I beat them, that it's going to be a situation where
with purpose.
Yeah, it's going to, this is just a, reaction of your misbehavior. And if, especially like respecting the authority, I think that's a very, very important thing because none of my close friends, I don't know if I have any close friends that haven't gotten beat, honestly, or it's very rare. And the friends that haven't gotten beat, they're the rare breed where they were born with authority respecting in their minds already.
Innately there. Innately there.
Already.
Are you serious? Mom was like, no, stop crying.
Yeah, they respected authority from day one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they respected that. I think, getting beat corporately is the corporal punishment. It teaches you humility in a different way that I don't think you could ever learn with the timeout or whatever. You can't
staring at the wall for an hour.
You can't just tell the kid, time out, go into your room, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You gotta teach their body in a different way. The body recalibrates really quick.
No, but I also think that you don't necessarily need to hit them at all, like all times. Like, it might start out with like hitting, but like just like inflicting like pain. It's like there's
you make it sound
like
worse
what?
Than
Like what?
Literally just said I don't think that you have to hit them, but then you have to start
like
off
ground them.
The grounding.
The grounding, like
That's
take
what
away
they
their
do.
privileges, right? Like, oh, like because you did this, I'm punishing you by not letting you do this.
Were you ever grounded?
I was grounded multiple times. Like, I don't think you guys
So you
know
got
this. Like,
beat
I was
and
never.
grounded.
Yeah, what?
I was never addicted to video games, and this is for a good reason. This is because my parents, they limited my video game time and my television time to 2 hours each, and only on the weekends, only on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents would always be in control of that. And I remember I went over like a few times, and then I would get like time reduced the next week, right? So I was very, very like kind and like very, very like uptight about like matching these expectations as well. So I think like taking away a child's pleasure is like that's pretty serious. like grounding them.
No, yeah, I think you know, a lot of times grounding is good, but sometimes it's just
you need a little more than that.
No, literally because as a child, even when I look back to the way I thought, it was just wrong. It was just wrong. Like the rationality of a child is just the way that they think is just wrong. So you just really have to teach them, and you know, with an irrational human, nothing is going to get to them. So you got to lay down a little bit of you know,
discipline.
Yeah,
but I've seen kids where beatings don't work.
Yeah, what is it gonna take for you?
Like I know some, like I used to be a tutor, right? At a what is it, Korean academy, and because I was the least experienced, they put me with all the problem children.
Yeah.
And then there was this one kid, right? And I knew his parents personally too, and he was just the most ridiculous, most rambunctious kid in the whole classroom, like disrupting everyone, like like hating people too, like just because if they didn't give him like whatever he wanted and stuff like that, right? And like his parents would always come to me and apologize and tell him, and like his mom would always tell me like I try so hard, like, but my son, like at the time he was in sixth grade, right? There was nothing that this woman could do.
Yeah.
Physically, she beats him. Doesn't matter. This guy just goes back to his old ways, like, because he's just so stubborn. He doesn't think about the fact that, like, why he's getting beat.
He doesn't
right?
respect.
He doesn't respect the fact that, you know, like they're beating him as punishment. It's just, to him, it's just like, oh, you're inflicting pain on me, and I hate that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't care if I did anything wrong right now. You're inflicting pain on me, and I have to deal with this right now. Like, there's kids like that. I feel like where they're so stubborn and they're so like they just don't understand why they're getting beat. They don't want to understand. They just only think about the pain.
I mean, if the beating don't work, then I mean, at that point, I gotta look back at the way that I like operate in the household, because ultimately, them not being able to change is a result of my actions and the way that I've been running the household. So I'm gonna see how I've been doing things, whether it's been, you know, affecting them differently. And, you know, if I find that there's nothing wrong with that too, then I mean, I'm just gonna have to pray to the Lord. And I'm just gonna have to be like, Lord, why you giving me such a problem child right now? You better straighten this kid out, you know? I mean, ultimately, this is all for the better of the kid, because you don't want your kid to grow up a shithead. You know what I'm saying? And the most shitheads are the ones that don't respect authority. I think that's the most important thing. Literally, the kids that don't respect authority are the worst ones out there. I swear to you. The ones that think that they run the place, the ones that think it's okay to do whatever they want. You know, I'll call my dad, I'll call my mom if you don't listen to me. Yeah. Those types of, it's the not respecting the authority types of kids are the worst ones. And you know what? Something has to be happening in the family. And if it's the case where nothing I do works with my kid, I gotta really reflect back on myself and how I'm treating this child, because there must be something wrong, something I'm missing. You know, maybe something is happening at school that he's not telling me, or she's not telling me. Something must be happening. So I gotta just basically do one of the kill him with love type of situations where, you know, I pray to the Lord. I'll be like, God, what do you want me to do next? And if the Lord tells me get a bigger stick, then maybe that's maybe that's the way. Or, you know, I have to revert back to the old ways, and, you know, maybe start talking to him a little bit more. You know, try to figure out what's going on in his or her life. But yeah. At the end of the day, I think I'll for sure use the corporal punishment as a method of trying to instill different values and respect into my child, because a lot of times the little humans are not very rational people. Yeah, you can't talk things out with them a lot of times. I know I couldn't have been talked out of things many times. I just had to get it beat into me. So
those are things you learn as a kid.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. That's why at 6th grade, you've already developed all your ways of thinking.
No, I feel like for me though, when I was young and getting beat, like there was always a lesson to be learned. Like my parents would always like end with a lesson. Like they would be like, "Hey, I'm sorry I beat you, but this is the reason why, and you need to understand that." And I feel like that's the right way to do it, because the kid needs to understand your feelings. And like the fact that like you're doing this because you love the child, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to leave it on a sour note, because I know some dudes who have a bad relationship with their parents because they were beat so much, because they were punished so much as a little kid.
And they didn't understand why they were punished.
And because their parents didn't put it out there. Like, hey, I understand that you want me to study hard, but like why is it that you do so much? Like you go out of your way to like prevent me from having fun. You know what I mean? Like for some kids, like for example, like I know this one guy, right? Like he got caught, like his parents didn't want him playing video games so much that he lied to them that he was watching porn at 3 a.m. Like, even though he was actually just playing video games, like he like.
How
Is that better? Yeah.
No, because it's not games. At least it's like their parents, like they'll probably freeze up too. They'll be like,
so it like makes them like uncomfortable.
I guess you're at that age where you do those types of things.
Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it gets that bad for some people, and yeah, like I think there's always like you need to put it out there and ensure that the kid understands that you're doing this out of love for them and out of their betterment, or else you're gonna leave some
Man,
scars.
you know that is so true. Man, I hated hearing that right after I got beat. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
and like in the mind of a child,
I like right after you got the ass beating, and then they go, I'm doing this because I love you.
he's like, shut up,
Yeah.
mom.
I was like, stop it, just shut your damn mouth. You know
your
what I'm
ass
saying?
is on fire.
You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy time.
I think, as a child, okay, I think it's so tricky being a parent because of that. Because now that we've grown up and we know how our parents feel, but as a child, when you hear, like, when you just got your ass beat and then your parent comes to you and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, it's so confusing in a child's mind.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so confusing because it's like they think you're bipolar.
Yeah.
Like, you just hit me and you're telling me that you love me and this because you care for me. They don't understand.
Yeah, it's a very tough one.
I don't know what is the right way or not really.
Man, that is the right way. And then you just gotta hope that one day your kid is smart enough, if it's your offspring, that they'll be smart enough to understand that logic.
Gotta trust them.
There's literally no other way. You just have to keep on instilling that in them, and then maybe one day they'll understand that. And if they don't, you had a really bad apple. Your genes are just messed up. Then I'm sorry, you have a bad kid.
Yeah, no, I have to say, like, I don't think I thought like this when I was like 16, 17, getting my like ass beat, or middle school, like thinking like, oh, like my parents beat me, but it was for a good reason. No, there was never a time when, after I got my, after I got a beating, where I was like, oh yeah, I
get it now.
I get it. Like, it's
my butt's on fire because of this.
Like, no, but just like as you grow older, like you just start to be more mature and just realize these things. I feel like, and you know what's right and what's wrong more as you get older, and that's when you start to realize, oh, like, my parents, like, you reminisce, like, at least for me, that's how it is.
You
like,
reminisce.
You
like,
reminisce the times.
It's like, right, I'm so disciplined. I wonder why. Like, it's probably because of all my parents' efforts, right? Like, I have a good work ethic. I wonder why. It's probably because my parents, like, beat this into me. And I feel like it's true for my work ethic. Like, I pride myself in my work ethic. And it's because my mom legit, like, she, like, instilled it in me through very, very tough love. And like when it was happening, right? Like, I hated it so much, right? Like, I remember, like, like you talk with your friends, like, oh, like my mom did this to me, like, oh, I can't believe it, right? It's like, and like you guys, like kids talk about their parents and like how much like they're stressed out about it. But looking back now, like I'm just grateful.
Like, I just thought about this. I watched a TikTok video. Do you know how you can tell that someone like
has been beat?
No, not hasn't beat, but like has respect for authority. Let's say it's when you shut your door after you're mad.
Oh, that is so true. That's it doesn't matter what nationality you are. That one is a universal one.
Yeah. So
it's that soft closing that matters most.
Got so mad at your parents, they like beat you, or like they, you got in trouble. If you have respect for your parents, you will not shut that door. Yeah,
even after you get asked.
You don't know like this.
No.
She doesn't understand it. You shut your door hard, huh? She ain't got beat for this.
I did get beat for it.
All of us have only enjoyed that moment only once in our lives because we never did it after that first time.
Exactly. I got beat for it.
All of us have done it, but we could only enjoy it that first time we ever did that one.
The door. It's over. You hear the footsteps.
I didn't know my parents could move that like that. I didn't know that, dude.
But if you don't have respect, it doesn't matter. You can shut your door however you want.
Oh yeah.
You know when you do. You know what you do, right? You freaking shut it. You swing super.
Oh, and then you
stop.
Yeah. But I feel all the blood going into my body.
No, I remember I got like in big trouble for doing that. So after that, I closed the door very softly, and then I would go to my pillow. It's like screaming into it, and then I'm like punching it, like punching my bed, like I'm like going like this, like beating the crap out of my mattress and stuff, like. No, like I remember.
This is all things. I'm telling you, everybody's only shut the door really hard only one time in their life, and you know what? Everybody's only done one time. End the phone call on your parents early. That's only happened. We've only enjoyed that experience one time because you know what? Me and all my friends have. It's crazy. It's like we have the copy paste story. We did it. And next thing you know, within the next 5-10 minutes, it doesn't matter where your parents are, they're at the house already. It's like, what? Don't you have work? Oh hell no! It's a beatdown that day. I've only enjoyed the ending the phone call with my parents only one time in my life, and you know, they were home so quick. I did not know that they could move like that. Their cars can drive like that. I didn't know. So yeah, I mean, have you ever ended the phone call on your parents early, and you got the quick movement of them?
Oh, my dad called back immediately. He called back immediately.
Your hand's like shaking and you do answer.
I answer, and I get the announcement that
I'm coming.
the PSA that, you know, within like once my feet touch the ground of my house, it's GG.
They always give you a preview.
It's like when you come back home, here's what's gonna happen. It's like, dude.
Did they ever do that?
I never did the call thing.
No, but like when you do something wrong,
They're usually already home.
No, dude, they tell you, they're like, once I'm home, this is what's gonna happen, and then starting from that,
You're like building up the anxiety.
No, for real.
It's like you're listening to your own Final Destination. So, anyways, yeah, the ending,
door closing.
yeah, the door closing and the ending the phone call early. You know, it's crazy. Everybody has the same story. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
It's the. Why did you shut your door? And it's like the wind.
Yeah.
The wind.
Oh, dude.
It was the wind.
It's a.
It was an accident.
The window's closed.
The door's so light.
The window's closed.
Dude, and the angst and anticipation that awaits in your heart while you're home.
Yeah, because as soon as you do it, you're like, oh shit.
I don't know why the door in the garage be opening extra harsher in those times. It sounds louder and scarier. And then they come in. Oh my goodness, the way that they drop their bags and everything, it's just a really, you know, you're in for a really rough time that night.
Come out of your room.
Oh my goodness, it's that type of horror movie that you experience. It's not a good one, but
The thrill.
But I mean, you need to experience those types of things to have the respect for the authority.
The oh shit moments.
Yeah, because you know what? If they never beat me for that, I might have kept on doing it. I needed to have that type of shocking element from that scenario. But yeah, but overall, all of us have very wonderful relationships with our parents. You know, we have all of us love our parents very much. They love us. We all talk every day. We have wonderful families. We're just saying that, you know, as an example of what happened. But we all think that none of our parents did anything out of hate or anything like that. We all grew up wonderful. We all grew up fine. You know, I still think that all the beatings I got was, deserved. Maybe, sometimes they could have done it different, but I think that, it was a good thing that they did what they did to me. And I'm going to,
because they're also, I think no, that's going to go into a different topic.
No, but anyways, yeah. Do you have anything else to say, Charles?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, it was a wonderful time. You know what? Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back next week with another one as well. Say something, guys.
Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications.
Yes.
And if you related to any of this, comment.
Yeah, comment below if you still get beat.
If you still.
Oh.
Anyways.
Oh no.
We're your emotional support.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.